Hello and welcome back to the Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I'm here with my pals. Well, got in the Illinois shirt, we got Bill Englehardt, and on the other side, we've got uh, Becky's husband, Mike, Becky Cook.
There you go.
We're trying to up the game here a little bit on the webcast and drop Becky's name early.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
yeah. The
Drop her
the
name.
fantabulous Rebecca Jane Cook.
Yes.
She stands behind her man. In fact, she's standing behind him right now. You just can't see her.
Yeah.
Um,
Listen, I'll tell you who wears the pants in this family, and as soon as she gives them back, I'll show them to you.
Yeah. There
Yeah,
you
I wear the pants in my family, but Jenny wears the pockets.
Yeah,
go. I think Becky's going to end up by the fireplace today, huh?
I think so.
Yeah. She might.
She's got a little reptile in her. A little cold-blooded.
So this is our first webcast of the new year. Happy New Year. Happy
Happy-
holidays. Merry Christmas. Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Have a good one.
Dave,
There she is.
there she is. Let's see what it
You
is.
look at that.
I'll try and see what my calendar has all the
Special days.
special days. I was going to see if it.
Well, I think it's just special that we're here.
We made,
2025.
made it to 2025.
Yeah, we sure did. Glad to be here. David, I had a moment of reckoning
Uh-oh.
during vacation.
Did you
Bill
take
had a
it to the body shop?
Yeah.
Well, that would be included, I suppose. I don't know if you've watched this Yellowstone series with Harrison Ford, 1923.
No, I've looked at. We started Yellowstone, and we didn't get into it like other people did. But
Oh, and 1923 is really a good. Helen Mirren is in it.
you
She's
need to
a-
watch Yellowstone to enjoy
Oh,
1923. Bill,
Aaron.
Mirren. Pardon?
you need to watch Yellowstone to enjoy 1923.
No. 1923, I think, is.
Prequel,
I think it's better.
better. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are golden days.
Yeah, you're just trying to connect the characters. But in this show, the other night we're watching, Harrison Ford is shaving and looking in the mirror, and he shaves and finishes up, and he looks at himself in that mirror. And I had that same moment, reflection. Harrison Ford said, "Who is that old man?" I did the same thing.
Yeah.
My hair's messed up. I just
You just
kinda-
noticed this?
Well,
You're 76 years old and you just now figured it out?
I thought, wow, this is different.
Yeah.
So that's just a New Year moment, maybe. I don't know.
Well, mirrors can't talk back to you, and I'm lucky mine doesn't laugh.
Hmm. Well,
So,
I found it out the hard way.
well, it's better than having chapped lips from kissing mirrors.
There,
Bill had a moment of reckoning.
yeah.
Bill realized he's old and going to die soon. My God, look at that.
Look at
That
that.
looks like guys that I see in the
That look like-
casket. Looks like guys in the
Well,
casket.
yeah. Well, Harrison Ford. I mean, there he is.
Well,
And
you know,
he's older, so.
I wrote about aging a couple weeks ago, and I kind of mentioned you guys.
Well,
I noticed that.
we noticed.
You said
Maybe
we were
not by name.
we were
Huh?
handling. You said we were handling aging with aplomb. With grace and humor and dignity and doing our best, even though we got 1 foot in.
Well,
I didn't say it exactly
All
quite like
adds up.
that, but
No, I said it more literary, right? A little more powerful than your simple words.
yeah. Hey, you're a wordsmith.
Yeah, whatever that means. Yeah, that's amazing. You wake up one morning, you realize you're 77, 78 years
oh,
old.
yeah.
And you study the death tables and you realize you're right there.
Mm.
But hey, you go out crying or laughing. Bill and I both elected on
Laughing.
laughing.
Well, you guys are young yet. My mom just turned 87,
Yeah.
and my dad will be 89 next month. And
Well, how long could we do this show for?
Well,
We'll just keep it going.
I don't know how long Dave's going to live.
Well,
my mother-in-law is in her 90s.
You have good genes, though.
Yeah, I do. And good jeans, good boots, good,
Yeah.
yeah, there you are.
You don't need anything. You're self-actualized.
I don't need anything.
So David, so when you had this epiphany, or anti-epiphany,
Mhm.
this realization, this realistic realization of realizing, hey, I'm old.
Mm.
Did you hurry up and make a New Year's resolution?
You know, I didn't. It's kind of like past me. I'm gone. I'm gone with that. I just looked in the mirror. If you've seen this, Harrison Ford looks
Yeah.
in the mirror, his hair's all messed up, as
Yeah.
was mine. And I'm going, just like Harrison Ford.
Well,
Who is that old man?
Here's the deal. You had hair to be messed up.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you don't want to stare in the mirror too long at a certain age.
David, I think we're just both glad to be here with you and looking forward to the new year.
Well, it's I'm glad to have you. It makes me feel younger. So
I made a whole bunch of New Year's resolutions because I have a lot of deficiencies and I don't feel very adequate.
Really?
But I read your article and I realized, well, there's somebody out there that's
has more.
Got it all together.
Yeah, that's me. I'm
Mr. All Together.
I'm Mr. Put Together.
That is, by the way, in the counseling psychotherapy, one of the keys they say is a person needs to accept who they are, holes and all, deficiencies and all. That's the key to mental health. So you have good mental health, David.
See, there you go, using the word deficiency, and it's not that I don't think I have deficiencies. I don't have any discontent.
Yeah, well, you accept your deficiency.
Yeah, I accept my deficiencies and I'm content with them.
I would say the implication, if somebody says, I just accept who I am, that means they accept their deficiencies. Yeah. But you told me, I started our conversation earlier saying your article seemed to me you had no deficiencies. You said, oh, no. I'm not saying I don't have any deficiencies. I said I'm contented. And now that I say you have deficiencies, you said, no, I don't have any deficiencies.
I didn't say I didn't have deficiencies.
Didn't we start this out?
Well,
I said I don't have discontent.
That's right.
Yeah, no discontent.
So do you have deficiencies?
Well, of course I have deficiencies.
Okay, we got there. We're getting there. Name them.
But they don't bother him.
Name them. Yeah, that's a good idea.
They don't bother him.
Yeah, that's mental health is what I'm saying. If you can accept yourself.
But when it comes to your word choices, I shared this quote earlier when you were ignoring me, so I'll share it again.
What'd you say?
Mark Twain said, the difference between the right word and nearly the right word is the difference between lightning and the lightning bug.
Lightning bug's 2 words, though.
He didn't say it was more.
David, am I starting to reveal one of my deficiencies?
Yeah.
Driving people nuts. Hey, Becky just yelled out.
Becky just
yelled out, yes.
So
he speaks.
So I was going to talk about Becky a little bit, about how smart and kind and generous and attractive she is, and proving that opposites attract. We've got Mike that
I went through my whole life, David, with whoever I got it. When I became partners with Emerson Moore, Bill McCarty comes up and says, oh, that's really a good deal for you to hook up with Emerson. That'll be good for you. And I thought, well, how about Emerson? Is it good for him?
Is it good for him?
Same way with Becky. Everybody says, oh, man, that was the best thing ever happened. You're getting Becky. I thought, well, how about Becky? What did Becky get out of the deal?
Yeah, I don't think people knew about when you and Bill dressed up in Halloween together as a horse.
Yeah. Well, don't blow this. It's gonna be in one of your future
Yeah,
columns.
this is good.
Bill Bill played Bill played the front part and Mike played himself.
Yeah,
That's right. Okay, David, I'm gonna have to use mine on you now.
Here it comes.
Let's declare a truce. I'll quit lying about me. I'll quit telling the truth about you. Okay, we got our good stuff out.
Yeah.
Now it's all downhill.
We've used all of our best stuff.
Yeah, might as well just shut her down now. Well, Bill, do you have, seriously, you have a resolution?
No, really, I don't. I'm just, I haven't really thought too much about it.
You're a very contented guy, aren't you?
I'm pretty content. Yeah. Pretty
Mike, you got any resolutions?
No.
You ought to.
The older you get, David, your life shrinks. You know, when you're young, you think about traveling the world, you think about doing this. When you get older, it's just, a good TV program like Yellowstone, a comfortable chair or couch, the restrooms right down the hall, everything's working, plumbing's working,
Yeah,
and there's a cookie downstairs in the
Yeah.
cabinet. That's all you care
that's
about.
all you need.
Life shrinks
It really
tremendously.
does, along with everything else.
There was
I don't want to know.
I'm thinking about this New Yorker cartoon I saw a long time ago about had a picture of a guy walking down the street and it says, "Here's a man of low expectations," and he's going, "Come on, left foot, get out there, you can do it. Come on, right foot, get out there, you can do it." So just walking becomes actually a
I
good day.
think
Come
low
down-
expectations are good.
Going up and down stairs,
Oh, the simplest thing.
the simplest things. Your feet not
Yeah,
hurting.
yes.
Your feet not hurting.
The lower your expectations, the more victories you can celebrate.
Well, and also it's easier to say, "I'm content."
Yeah,
Just don't have any expectations.
right. Exactly.
What was it? What was the Zen philosophy? If you want unconditional love, the best way to get it is to give up your need for it because you're not going to get it. Does that make
Wow,
sense?
that's
You know,
depressing.
one of the things my dad used to say is if you
That
don't,
is depressing.
my dad used to say, if you don't like the situation you're in, change your attitude about it.
Yeah.
I found that uh, with Christmas many years ago. I mean, I can admit I used to feel a little disappointed at times when we'd have Christmas and I didn't get anything that I really wanted, or maybe we had to steal a gift and there were some pretty nice gifts, but mine ended up being a joke gift and whatever. So what I
Yep.
found is if you just get rid of your expectations and enjoy the company, you're much happier.
For a minute there, I thought he was going down the Rodney Dangerfield's drug.
Yeah, I get no respect.
I get
No
no respect.
respect.
My
Well-
dad, when I was young, dad worked at DeKalb, stack seed corn, and mom had to quit her job and take care of Melinda with diabetes. We had no money. And Christmas, mom would buy dad a little bottle of Old Spice,
Mhm.
and it'd be my gift to dad. So we're talking there one day, and I remember this, a young kid. I said, "Dad, I'm sorry, I don't have any money to really buy you anything." And he said, "Son, as long as we have our health and each other, we got everything." I said, "I know, but would it really kill you to get me a Daisy Eagle BB gun?" I never did get a Daisy
Never
Eagle.
got it.
I don't even know if they make them anymore.
Actually, they do.
I may go buy one.
Well, Caleb has a Huffer model,
Oh yeah,
John Huffer.
Yeah, he ran an eagle feather through the
Yeah.
barrel.
Yeah.
Well, you had a Huffer model.
Did I buy one?
I thought you did.
Where's it at?
I don't know. I thought you had one. You don't have one?
I may have bought it. I bought something. He did a thing. He was downtown and he reworked guns. I think it was a 22 Ruger rifle that he takes the slop out of the trigger and he does something he says he runs a eagle feather through the barrel to make it shoot true. And I said, "Well, John, that's a federal crime to have eagle feathers."
Not for him.
That's what he said. He said, "I'm an Indian chief." And I said, show me your election results."
Yeah.
Was he an Indian chief of a nation?
Yeah, I think he was well, he called himself chief. I don't
AJ,
know whether
AJ.
he was a Menominee Indian, or as I like to say, a phenomenal Indian, but
What's a Menominee? That's
it's a tribe out of northern Illinois.
out of southern Tuscola.
Well, yeah, it was out of his house. I think that was a sacred ground.
Yeah,
My son is has a lot of Indian blood, but with the tribe that my son is descended from through his mother, if you left New England before a certain year, you cannot claim any tie to the tribe. So I was talking to John Huffer about that and Chief AJ and said, I think that's kind of a crock. You've got people with less Indian blood in them who are able to claim a tie to the tribe, and he can't because his ancestor left before
yeah,
1828 or whatever. And John's response was, well, bring him to me. I'll get him the paperwork. He can be a member of my tribe.
yeah. I wrote an editorial I never published. It was about this race thing, and a lot of experts say race is just a social construct. There's so much intermarriage or so much bleeding. And the other thing was I researched all the Indian tribes, and they all have different things. You have to be 1/25th blood, 1/3 blood, and
Right.
1/2 blood. You can't leave the tribe. So they all had different requirements for being in that tribe. And I was talking about Kamala Harris, who was the vice president at the time. She's half Indian, she's half black, but her father was a child of a Jamaican slave owner, blah blah. And so I was trying to figure out her ethnicity, and she married a Jewish guy. So I was trying to talk about her son, all the different. What is he? And they even asked her one time, what was she? Said, "Are you Indian or black?" And she said, "It doesn't matter. I'm just who I am." And I liked her answer at the time, but I like this answer that's not race conscious. So race
Yeah.
isn't a simple thing.
Well, I was a little disappointed. My brother did the 23andMe DNA testing, my oldest
Right?
brother. And, my family, the Porters arrived in America about 1640, 1638, 1640. We've got ancestors who were on the Mayflower. Um, so we've been here for a long time. Our DNA came back 99.7 European white ancestry. There's like no diversity.
Yeah. No, I've always said that about you. Now, Bill is mostly German and part Hottentot.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was your mother's?
Actually, Dad's grandmother was full-blooded Indian. Mom that would be all European, just kind of like David.
Is that why your dad was strong as a bull?
I don't know. That's why it was dark in the summer.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So
Boy,
yeah, he was dark, but
he was a tough guy.
well, that's why he could walk up. Indians are real good, like an ironworking.
Yeah.
But whenever he was on jobs, he would walk high. He would go extra, and heights didn't bother him. Scared me to death.
Bill's dad was Monk was the nicest guy in the world, but he was tough. He was one strong, tough guy. We're playing golf at Villa Grove one time. We're walking down number 4 fairway, pulling our things. The guy on number 3 teed off, and you heard a real faint little 4. About the time you heard the 4, a ball hit Monk in the chest. Kathunk, bounced back about 50 yards. Monk never missed a step. He just kept walking down, pulling his cart.
God.
Pretty soon the guy walked up and said, "You see my ball?" I said, "Yeah, it hit my chest. You didn't yell 4 quick enough. Now, clean it up in the future," or something like that.
Yeah, it was.
And the guy goes, yeah. Hit him right in the chest and bounced back. I don't know how far.
I did.
You and I would have been on the ground screaming for an ambulance. Tough guy. That's not like an Indian to me. Jim Thorpe.
Yeah.
They can take it.
Jim Thorpe type. Yeah.
Jim Thorpe, strong as a bull.
Yeah.
Did you think he was strong?
Oh God, yes. I knew he was strong. You didn't have to tell me more than once. Yeah.
I would say my ancestors mostly probably English, but on my dad's side is English and Scottish, and my mom's side is English and German. So,
Well,
but I'm, 400 years in America. I think we're probably,
so you're here on a visa,
yeah,
H-1
work
visa?
work permit.
Permit, yeah.
Work permit.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Well, anyway, you ready to show some pictures here so we can,
Work our way through these pictures.
I'm ready. Let's see.
Better put on,
yeah, you better see them.
better be able to see them today.
When you looked in that mirror, did you have your glasses on?
I didn't need them.
Okay.
Wayne Neal on the
And
left,
Smitty on the right.
Smitty's head hiding his face. Who is that?
Well,
Everybody with their eyes closed.
not Van Steenhouse, I don't think.
No,
I don't think so.
that's not Earl the Pearl.
No, I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
I don't know who that is either.
You get comments?
Just the two you had.
Well, that's
Be an
it.
out of towner. Maybe
Okay.
someone from
Probably
Rotary.
Larry Out of Towner. I knew him.
he was probably president of some organization.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Our postmaster,
Repeat,
Wayne.
what he
Gary,
needed was another ink pen in his pocket.
Gary and Tamara's dad.
Mm-hmm.
Tamara was in Bill's class, 66. What was Gary, 69?
I think so.
Is that Bill Cook?
I think that is Bill Cook.
Bill Cook from the coal mine.
Scared you to death.
Oh boy,
Mhm.
Stay away from my daughter.
my first date. You'll be home. The movie's over at 10:09. You'll be here at 10:12.
Mm-hmm.
That Gary Brinkley down at the end of the table? Who is that?
Can't tell.
Oh,
Inside the community building.
Oh yeah,
Garland
Garland
Stroll.
Stroll,
the mayor back in the 70s,
70s.
late 60s.
First house in Parkview.
Yeah. That was his the lumber yard
Yeah.
down by the railroad tracks on Niles. That you had to, I think it was a covenant. You had to get your lumber from there. Anybody could build it, but you had to get the lumber from
From
Tuscola.
him.
Yeah, that lumber yard.
Hmm.
I think that was it.
Daughter Janet Stroll.
Well, there
That
we go.
is Gary Brinkley.
Well, I think it is, but I
No,
don't
wait a
know.
minute. It's Fleming. Was it the Fleming guy?
Shirley Quinn says John Phipps in the middle.
Don
That's
Phipps,
it.
he was the X-ray guy at the hospital, and his mother was
He married a Fleming.
well, his mother was a Fleming, I think.
Is that it?
Yeah, she was a beautician, I think, down at by
The
Doc-
Vogue.
Yeah, down where what was the name of that? Down where Doc Davidson's office was, right across.
What was the
street.
Vogue?
Hedinger's.
Oh,
That's the
Vogue.
Vogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her son.
Where my mom got her hair cut a lot of
That
times.
almost looks like Sherman.
Well,
Almost.
I don't think it is.
But I don't either. But
Could
I
be
love those plaid pants.
Could be the hospital administrator.
I love those.
Yeah.
John Phipps. Yeah,
Well,
I
we,
had
we knew all these people. All that
Mary
Bill
Beth
Given.
Phipps. Mary Beth Phipps' dad. He married Joanne Fleming.
That's his mother, wasn't it?
No, that's his wife.
Okay.
I'm sure. I really am. Oh, geez. I mean, I see some pictures of people look familiar, but you're going to have to expand it a little bit. That's a
You
lot.
don't have any names on.
You don't yet?
No.
It's a Hugo class of 99. I don't know.
No, that's the whole town.
Might be.
A lot of bow ties.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm not seeing anyone I know.
Well, maybe this was the all boys choir out of Tupelo. I don't know.
Mississippi?
Could be.
Oh, this got to be in the 70s when skirts were up about mid-thigh.
Now, Marcy Shoemaker says Steve Wetzel. So I don't know if she's tagging Steve or does that look like Steve to you?
Yes, it does.
Could be.
Hair's changed a little.
I didn't know him when he was that age, so
Yeah, he looked in the mirror and screamed the other night, just like you.
I haven't seen him in a long time. You see him once in a while.
He's around. No, I'm sorry, I can't.
Yeah, I don't have any names on this one either.
Uh,
Where are all the people from the 70s that need to be identifying
see
these?
John Albin in the back, second from the left.
Second
Is
from
that
the left.
Laverle Byers?
I think upper left is Laverle Byers, then
John
John.
Albin.
This might be the Farm Bureau, and down here is Wetzel.
Yeah,
Sitting-
Shorty Wetzel.
Shorty Wetzel sitting down.
All the way back right is Earl Riggins,
Mm-hmm.
survivor of the Indianapolis.
From
Newman.
I think this is Farm Bureau officers.
I've got one more name that you haven't got yet. David Kent Coy says, seated second from left, Tom Hudson from Hinesboro.
Tom Hudson was Bill Sargent's brother-in-law, I believe. Pat Sargent's brother. I didn't know.
Well, there we go again. That's an event we didn't go to.
No, we didn't make it.
I don't know how to pronounce this last name. Ken Kosh.
Spell it.
Well, one spells it Kosche, one spells it Koche or Ko. Yeah, and Nancy Hart says, I'm sure I'm wrong about several people, but she thinks it's Nancy Hinton, Elizabeth Cross, Diane Volk, Koch, Kathy Wright, Jamie Huber, Joy Hanner, Sylvia Wellborn.
Well, I think the Hinton's right on the left, got a shadow across her face, looks like a Hinton. And the Huber looks right. Which Huber was it?
She says Jamie. And Mary Lynn Schaefer says, I think Donna Gilmore, Liz across Elizabeth Lee Lewis, and Sally Henry on the far left.
Never heard of that guy's name, have you?
No.
He was a band director, but not here for very long. Kathy Hinton Burnett says he was here for a couple of years, and he was very proper.
Well, it sounded like he might have been chorus director there.
Yeah, he was course director, and Leanne Spurlock says, I believe he was working on his doctorate at the U of I at the same time.
Wow.
But he got along well with Bucko.
Oh, that's Dr. Koshi.
Dr. Koshi.
Sure. He operated on me.
Yeah.
Does Marcy remember all these people, or does she sit?
Well, this is her,
This is her era.
she was class of 74. This
Yeah,
is her,
I thought maybe she'd have her yearbooks out and comparing pictures.
She might be fudging.
looks like Bill Burris playing the piano there.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Who's the guy?
Where Marcy, Phil Jordan.
I knew Jan Jordan.
Joyce Jordan in my class.
Michael Jordan played for the.
Yeah,
Cool.
I played against him. I dunked over him one time. Okay.
Okay, on the back left, that's Paul Bretz. Third one in is George Dillner from Arcola. That's Romine, Ned Romine, bottom left.
From Atwood.
Ned lived it outside of town between Garrett and Filson. Good guy, nice guy. But that Paul
Bureau.
Brett just passed away. Yeah, George Dillner was a photographer on B-25s, and his daughter worked for me, Angie, PE teacher, Angie Dillner, good basketball player at
Oh, yeah.
Arcola.
Really good.
George was the photographer out the side windows. She brought pictures of the Alps over there. It was just wonderful pictures he had taken from an airplane. Who's a big guy? I mean, George Dillner was a big man. That guy,
How'd he fit in the plane?
no, this other guy. George, big guy, but this guy here is real big, about 6'7".
Kelly Wiesner Manning says, standing on the right is Bill Overturf.
Oh, okay. William Overturf from Camargo area.
Related to Stu?
Well, his Rosemary was Van Nussel was his sister. Rosemary Nussel.
And David Kincoy says, I think the man seated in the middle is the late Bob Clapp from Hinesboro.
Could be. A lot of claps from
A lot of claps. Roy Clapp, tremendous athlete. That's Ellen Fry, I believe.
yeah, it looks like Ellen. I don't
Rick
recognize
Fry says, I'm pretty sure Maggie Parker was interviewing her about her favorite family recipes.
who said that, Randy?
Jerry.
Jerry. Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Speaking of Maggie Parker,
Yeah. They're getting
That's
ready to pull all her molars.
getting her teeth cleaned or something.
I just have a shiver go up and down my spine. The tingler's about ready to grab my spine.
I don't know who.
The dental assistant?
No, it looks like I'm not even sure where the office is.
I don't know who the person working on her teeth is. Yeah, I don't know what office this is.
That would be Davidson's.
I don't know. What would have been
Back in the day when he was just in that building first started.
when did he buy Cross? In the 70s? Late 60s
Yeah.
or early 70s?
Late 70s, I think.
Oh, there we go. There's your car in high school.
Well, I was stopping to pick up a date.
Yeah. That's Leroy Chupp's wagon.
Rudy Huber says this is 1976 Millard Dukeman Farm Auction.
Wow. You got that from the snow on the ground?
He got that from the other pictures in this series.
Oh, okay.
76.
Yeah.
Millard Dukeman sale.
I had some pictures of tractors that are coming up that don't have any people in them. I wrote on Facebook, I debated about whether to include the tractor pictures, but I knew Rudy Huber would want to see them.
Well, okay.
No, that's not a tractor. That's a train derailment, replacing ties.
Well, there is a tractor in the picture too.
Yeah. Not even a derailment, just repairing the ties.
Yeah.
Massey Ferguson combine.
Mhm.
Rudy says Millard started the combine before the auction, so they could
He sold it all, huh?
so they could hear it run.
Looks like a fairly new one.
Yeah. A lot of comments on this picture.
Well, who are the people besides
Jim
Miller?
Fleming says that's Millard and Bryan in the foreground. Of course, you got a Bill Huber auction truck in the back. Jamie Huber Owen says I was at that sale, ran the sales sheets from the clerk to the cashier. And Rudy says Chuck and Larry Gorell from Ohio helped the auction. And let's see, Doug Warder says Art Snyder bought the tractor. He just found the paperwork, had 40 hours on it, came with a 4-row corn head and 15-foot platform.
It looked new. Didn't you look like a new combine? Wow.
760 Massey 6030. Paul Easton bought A4T Mini 1350 diesel, the largest dollar farm auction to that date. First one over $200,000.
What'd the combine bring?
It doesn't say.
Who told those numbers?
Rudy?
What's a combine now? Close to $1 million? 800,000-900,000?
You can get a combine for, 700,000-800,000, depending, well, probably more if it's new.
Yeah.
Pushing $1 million, I think.
Absolutely.
But interesting that so many of the details survived.
Mm-hmm.
Rudy says Bob Mock, center.
From Atwood.
Mm-hmm. Cold day.
Millard started the Mini A4T, auctioneer Chuck Durrell, Hicksville, Ohio on the step.
You don't see many Minneapolis Molines around here.
Mm-mm.
Good day to walk around the mud.
Yeah, it was a little muddy there.
Day for sale.
Sale brought over $200,000. Wow.
Gary Appleby says, I was one of several neighbors and friends of Miller Dickman that helped get things ready for the sale. We worked for several weeks getting machinery cleaned up and lined up. I think he saved everything he had ever bought. He says, that's me on the 3020 loader tractor. He says he still has that tractor.
Over Gary Appleby, farms over near the Garrett area. Garrett Atwood, great guy.
So this is 1976. And so he's had that tractor for about 50 years.
Oh.
Hmm.
I wonder if that tractor ever looks in the mirror. And there's the old poker at the, I'm saying this is the township shed poker.
Tim Hole thought it might be Jake's pool hall, but you would know.
No.
No, that's way too nice.
Yeah, that place is real nice. Although that might be Jake playing cards.
That looks like Paul
That's Jake.
Flock on the right to me.
Well, looks like Art Lewis.
Well, I knew Art Lewis, but it's been 40 years since I've ever seen him. So
He had that slick back black hair.
David,
I'm talking about on the other side.
Oh,
we're trying to get Zoom back here, David. I got a phone call and the Zoom went off.
Go to your dock on the bottom, and you should find, if you have the Zoom app, you should find Zoom down there with a little black triangle under it, showing that the app is running.
The dock, huh?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Did you find your dock?
No, I never can find the dock.
document?
No, not document. The dock is where all your running apps. Sometimes it's on the right or left side if you move your cursor over.
Is the app store? Do I need the app store? I'm looking for Zoom. Here's Zoom.
There it is.
I got it
There you
back.
go.
I
Got
think
it
that
back.
is Jake.
I don't know. He wore suspenders. I know that. I don't see my dad there.
You don't think that's Paul Flock on the right?
No.
That's who it looks like to me. But I thought you guys would enjoy that picture anyway.
Yeah, that was Jake's, but I don't think that looks like
That
Jake's.
doesn't look like Jake's to me. I've been wrong.
It's got a window up high like a basement.
Well,
no.
no, there were no windows.
No windows at Jake's.
Yeah, the roof of Jake's was the basement of the store above. There's no windows at Jake's.
And a hole in the back room.
You better hit it or you're going to pee on the floor. Now that's
Probably Mitchell's. No, you know what that
That's
is?
Jake Hill's, Betty Hill's place, isn't it? Oh, no,
Hey.
is this the one they fixed up, the guy,
Yeah, that guy,
middle of the block? What was his-
Hayes,
Hayes, at a clothing store.
real fancy type
Well, it
thing.
could be Mitchell's. Look, it's looking across the street at, that could be Mitchell's.
I
I
think
thought
he's
it was Mitchell's. Carol Cohen said she thinks it's Mitchell's.
Yeah, it's looking across it where Savemore was.
Betty Hill's place was later.
Yeah. It came in the late 80s.
Yeah, probably in the 80s.
Yeah, I think that's Mitchell's.
there's a lady
I
back.
don't know. Adeline Cohen
Yeah,
and Mitch.
good folks.
Jerry passed away, what, about 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
The time gets away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alvin's still alive, I think. Near as we know.
God, familiar. Gee, man.
Should we know her, David?
According to Steve Laley, that's Janice Oakley Kane.
So that's Jack Oakley's daughter. Pretty girl. Big guy on the right looks familiar.
Looks like Ligas.
Kelly Wiesner Manning says she thinks that's Ruth
Well,
Haynes.
that's Kellogg. It's Kellogg down here to the upper left.
Mm-hmm. Who did Kelly say?
Ruth Haynes Turner Wiesner in the front row, fourth from right. Kurt Turner is tagged. Kurt Turner says Kelly Wiesner Manning, yes, at one of the many 1934 class reunions.
– 1934, class of 34.
34, that's
90 years ago.
90 years ago, 2 years before my dad was born.
In the back, that's Pete Cunningham on the left, standing.
Jolly.
Willis Jolly,
Willis Jolly.
Mary Jolly, Mary Barbie Jolly,
Pee Wee Cunningham.
Pee Wee Cunningham.
That's
Wayne Neal.
Wayne Neal. And that's
He delivered mail. We talked. It starts with a G.
No, he lives right behind Savemore. Had a repair shop. Ralph Allen and Wanda.
Oh, that's Ralph.
Ralph and Wanda Allen.
You're right.
I recognize Pee Wee.
Never changed.
Nope, always looked just exactly like she does in this picture.
Great gal, always laughing.
Oh, there's Mr. Fullerton.
Mr. Fullerton.
Clark Fullerton.
Yep. That's the Armstrongs. They lived west of or east of Tuscola, and the farm they had was called Brodus Stock Farm.
Well, that's where they built those houses out there, didn't they? Just down the road.
Well, down the road they did.
On the Embral.
Yeah, this house is no longer there. Rick Gibson and I'd go out there and rake leaves for him in the fall.
But that's where the house was, right?
Yes, big 2-story plantation type home.
Right.
We even baled hay out there for him.
South of
Arthur Armstrong.
Brodus Stock Farm.
Well, that's where the Brodus Cemetery is.
Mm-hmm.
Right there south of
Yeah.
Patterson Springs.
Yeah.
A couple miles down the road.
I didn't include it, but there was a separate picture of just this picture of the cow.
Yeah.
So that must have been the focus of the story.
Cow's the reason for global warming.
Yeah.
I think eventually she worked at Carpenter's some. He was a rather quiet fellow. Now, was that Nancy
Marcia?
Armstrong's or Marcia Armstrong's parents?
I think so. Marcia was my class. Died young, married Thompson, the barber. There was Clarence and
can't remember
the older one.
Yeah.
Barber at the Hotel Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
Nancy was younger. We used to have marshmallow. We'd go out there and have in the fall, they'd have go behind their house and we'd have a fire and do marshmallows and stuff.
Just you and her? Or?
No, the whole class.
Oh.
Marcia was a nice gal.
She was a nice girl.
There they are again.
Is this the same class there?
Yeah. There's Boyd Wiesner.
Oh, Boyd Wiesner and Hattie sitting next to him.
Yeah. And Maury Little at the far right, Maurice Little and Ruth.
Ruth Little.
Ruth Coslet sitting next to him.
That's Shirley Neal, second from the left.
Second left is Shirley Neal. Aged very well. And we should know the one right next to Shirley, too.
We should, and I can't think of it.
Rudy Huber says back left, John Armstrong.
We should know the gal in the black dress standing next to John. Was Army his brother?
Yeah. No nicer guy than Boyd Wiesner.
Boyd's a great guy. Well, Maury Little was super
Maury
guy.
Little was a good guy. But I knew Boyd pretty well. Boyd and Hattie.
Maury and Ruth had two girls, and one of them just died. Jerry died about, 6 months ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Teresa's still alive, married Denny Winkler from Newman, who I think passed away.
I think you got all the names that I had.
Good. We're on top of it.
There he is.
Never saw him before, and have no idea who it is.
City Clerk Harold Shuey on the left.
Yeah, Harold Shuey, the other guy, we have no clue.
Oh, no. Tom Diddlefopper?
Even I recognized it. Well, I recognize both these guys.
Is that Tom Diddlefopper?
Yeah, I think it is.
Wound up being my investigator.
He would swear to anything.
Yeah, yeah.
He made a pretty good pizza, too.
Yeah,
Very good burgers.
Button Chucks.
That's Tom Harris on the right, for those that might not know.
Oh, we didn't give his name?
Harold Shuey on the left.
That's close enough.
I'm guessing this was taken in 1975.
75, 76.
Well, there's a clue in the picture, Mike.
Well, no, that's an old, they don't experiment in September. They never did flip that page.
Man, he was young to take that job, wasn't he?
Well, young and dumb. You shouldn't want to be a police chief. It's our job.
There's that tractor.
Uh-huh. Who bought the Minneapolis? They still make Minneapolis, Moline?
Yes, I believe so,
Whites?
but I've been wrong before.
I think we had who bought that, but I don't remember now. That was,
Rudy would know.
5 minutes ago.
Rudy would know.
Boy, combines have changed.
They're a lot bigger now.
Hold more grain.
Drive themselves.
Yeah, the GPS and everything. And that's it.
You know, that bean head on that combine, I just out here in where we live near the golf course, people often, I don't know if you've seen this, they take their pumpkins and throw them across the street into the field.
I know Pheasant Run.
Pheasant Run. They throw their pumpkins over there and they throw their mums. So I had a farmer, I was talking to Tom Glenn from Newman. I said, Tom, is that farmers get mad at that, throwing mums and pumpkins over in their field? I said, or does that add nutrients? They don't mind. He said, well, you don't want to be picking your beans and some 20-pound pumpkin grew up out of those seeds. Get it in your bean head. So I guess they don't want pumpkins thrown there, because I guess you could grow pumpkins.
I've seen them every year over there.
Yeah. Farmers don't want pumpkins. But David, that was all about what, 75, 76?
Yeah.
Are we done forever for 64, 65, the golden years?
Well, I don't know. I'll look around, but try to mix it up a little bit. We got,
Probably a good idea.
a lot of people.
Try and mix Bill and I up if you can.
Well,
Yeah.
we got a lot of people on our Facebook group. We've got, I think, 4,200 people in that group.
You got a strong group from the 70s with Rudy and Rudy Rudy and Marcy. You got a lot of good 70 people. You got some people from the 50s, Chubb Connor, a few of them are watching.
4,600 members in the group.
And you and I aren't even members. Of course, Bill and I don't do Facebook. Well, we don't know how to do
David,
Facebook.
no, we don't. David,
Well,
you could charge a membership fee.
You ought to monetize that, David.
Yeah.
4,556 members. Well, we do with our sponsorships, who this week are Trust Bank and Elite Builders.
Thank you.
They'd probably pay $1 a month, wouldn't they? $12 a year to watch your.
Well, we try to get them to subscribe to the newspaper. That would help.
Okay, so that was your feeder. It's a feeder thing. Oh, it's a profit thing.
I don't know if there's any profit in newspapers. That's what they say about newspapers. The way to start a nonprofit newspaper is you start a for-profit newspaper and wait.
Right.
Wait.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's not a business model you want to tackle today. I don't.
I've
think.
had, I've told you before that people will say something to me about the podcast or the Facebook page.
You told me that.
Yeah,
Nobody's ever told me a thing.
Well, I know. Well, maybe they think I'll relay it to you. Anyway,
Yeah.
I've had, in fact, today I had a person comment to me about talking about the playoff situation, high school football, private schools versus. I think some people still want us to kind of jump on a topic, so to speak.
Well, I think it's crazy. They let these private schools who recruit from 50 miles away, play against these public schools. Tuscola can't recruit somebody from lives in Villa Grove because the Villa Grove people pay their real estate taxes in Villa Grove. They're not going to send their kid over here and pay double real estate taxes.
Right.
But the private schools, St. Teresa I remember at first in the 70s, St. Teresa all of a sudden came up with these halfbacks from Decatur, from other schools, from Eisenhower and MacArthur and Stephen Decatur, and I thought, well,
I think they give them free tuition to go in.
Yeah. I said, boy, these Catholics look different.
Well, I've had people talk about other things.
Well,
too,
Isaiah Thomas, was recruited to, Westchester. They paid him to transfer way back in high school. All these guys.
On the public schools, there's some very strict rules in regards to transferring. And
yeah, Thornton.
We had a kid from Villa Grove move here just a couple of years ago, played football, but he had to lay out for so long.
The most famous and successful probably would have been Dusty Burke coming from Atwood. But their parents didn't buy a house here.
They moved here.
They moved here.
They established a residence.
Yeah. But I remember at the time, my dad's an old Atwood boy, and some of the old Atwood people are still upset thinking that Atwood could have won the state like they did under John Lyons, in the 70s. They won the state, and they thought they could have won the state they had a pretty good team back when Dusty came over. But I talked to the dad a little bit, and he just thought for his son's sake, Tuscola has had a better chance of college offers in the future.
Well, he got him.
He got him.
And
he got kind of
Rochester by Springfield.
Oh yeah, they
for recruiting, and they got in trouble a few years back. Their sports boosters, when they win a championship, they'd buy rings for the players.
Yeah.
And most of the players paid for their own rings, but for those that couldn't afford it, the sports boosters paid for the rings, and that was against the rules. Apparently.
Well, their quarterback was 31 years old, David.
That's no playing football, isn't it?
Only played 3 years in the NFL.
I don't see. To me, that robs all the meaning out of it. If you're if you're a private school, if you're a Belleville Altoff, you got a proud school, you got and you go recruit kids from East St. Louis and across the river to play for you, and you win the state championship. What does it mean? Those aren't Belleville Altoff kids, in my opinion.
Not members, not all members of the parish or whatever. That's
well, I don't think they've been in the church for 10, 20 years.
Or at all.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't take recruiting necessarily to be a winning team. I'm sure you know who the third and fourth most winning football teams in the history of Illinois are.
Yes, Arcola and Tuscola.
Yep.
Let's remind everybody that Tuscola's number 3.
There you go.
It goes back and forth, but I think they've been number 3 the last several years.
Since the Dusty Burke era, we started coming up. Speaking of Dusty
Well, like
Burke.
I said, we were just every now and then someone will want to mention to me about a subject, a particular subject.
It's just not fair. It would be simple to solve, I would think.
Well, the number 1 and 2 are a private school in Chicago and East St. Louis.
Carmel and East St. Louis, the Flyers. And I don't think East St. Louis started playing football about 10, 20 years after us. We were some of the first early programs way back in 1890.
1898, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think East St. Louis started later, and they just piled on. East St. Louis they have no money. The school years ago was bankrupt, and they have a brick stadium, I think. Seats 16,000 or something for football.
Better have walls around it.
Well, I don't know. Turrets in the corner. They produce great football.
Yeah,
I think Mount Carmel's maybe the winningest program in the state.
that's up north.
They're still winning. They still dominate. Chicago area.
Well, see, I initiated a conversation just by.
Yeah, but what's your solution? What should they do? They have a multiplier. They dropped the multiplier.
Well, they're changing it next year.
Well, Belleville Altoff should be 3 or 4A.
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Connor pointed out, Unity played them within 1 point. We played Belleville Altoff a few years ago. Remember?
I think we did.
But they're seriously a 3A, 4A, just like Unity's 3A, I think.
Well, just an idea, another subject area.
Well, the football games were boring. I'll tell you that the Friday playoffs were horrible runaways. And those were good teams that got beat. Those were, those were strong. Monticello was a good team. Who was it?
I forget.
Well, Arthur had a good team. They ran into Notre Dame there. That's another private recruiting school. Yeah. Illinois won, though. I didn't think they would. Big Ten was more powerful than everybody thought this year. I mean, just think about that. Michigan beat Alabama, which was shocking. Illinois beat Michigan, tore them up. So Illinois could have been a top 12 team, won a couple games there. So I think the only loss has been maybe Indiana. Of course, they lost to Notre Dame. So I think Ohio's going to win the national championship. What do you think?
Possible. I watched the game. They were tough in that first half. David, has Jenny told you that the toughest time for a school teacher is when kids come back to school after Christmas break?
No, she hasn't mentioned it.
I was thinking about that the other day.
Was that just your theory?
No, I actually experienced it as a teacher and a principal. It's hard to get everyone back in the flow, so to speak.
Well, Bucko had no trouble with us.
No, he didn't.
You guys snapped right back, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, we snapped back. Yeah.
Murray and Bucko kept you in line.
Got a Christmas decoration in the background there that's sparkling.
Not too much sparkle from here. Oh, there it is. It's a woman in the ball, right?
No, I was talking about the light fixture.
Lights back there, yeah. Yeah, those are Becky specials that we hang every Christmas. We don't really over decorate. We're more minimalist. And the trouble is, once we get them up, we don't really have the energy to get them down. So those will be there till probably July
Or next December.
or next December. But actually, that makes sense.
Oh, it's a good
Why,
idea.
why even take them down?
Why bother?
Our Christmas decorations come down before the Christmas day is over.
Our, our decorating was limited this year, believe me.
David, we drove by the new cemetery. Becky and I were out driving there today, and the first person's been buried there.
Eric Hastings, very sad to Eric was a year ahead of me in school, was also my lawn guy, and
Yeah.
I worked with Eric at the newspapers. I worked for his dad, and so I've known him pretty much all my life.
I remember when he was born, 63, I think.
You live next door to him,
No, he was not then. He was,
but you did live next door to Bob and
we
Bev.
lived next door to Bob and Bev when Craig was born. So Greg was there. He was a little guy. I was about 8 or 9 years old.
I think Eric did some photography. Wasn't he in charge of photography for a while?
He ran the dark room and was a photographer and very, very good photographer as well.
Yeah, he did car detailing for a while, really good at it.
Well, he liked to clean. He was a custodian at the school for a while and
He's always in a good
as
mood.
a custodian.
He's always in a good mood. He laughed easily. I would just say hi, Eric, and he'd start laughing.
Was he still cutting your grass?
Yeah.
Well, he's too young. That's kind of sad. But first person buried out, and I guess evidently it's open for business now.
Selling lots, aren't they? Is the township cemetery full
I knew
now?
Craig had bought some lots out there.
I talked to Randy, and he said the family got together at sometime the last few months and bought all of them in a row. They've got them all lined up right there in the new cemetery. Everybody, I think.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Out here by Hillcrest.
out by Hillcrest, where they grew up. Bob and Bev built that new house out there at the end of the cul-de-sac. You're just right around the corner from them.
Pretty close.
They didn't get far from home.
No. And Craig still lives out there in Hillcrest.
And Randy does too.
Yeah, you're right. Randy lived right next door to his mom and dad. Well,
And Eric lived out here too.
yeah, too bad. See him go. But I don't know if the old cemetery sold out yet or not. It's close.
It was close because Doug Dietrich told us a couple of years ago it was close.
Well, he said only had, say 5 years or something. Depends.
No, I think it was even less than that, but about 117 vacancies, and I think they filled it up.
My family has several plots out there, and my mom and dad's headstones already in place.
You got yours yet?
No, I'll just go wherever you are.
Okay, that's fine. Throw us in a ditch beside the road.
Yeah.
Jenny and I have made the decision to donate our bodies to science.
Yeah.
So we won't have a headstone. I fear nobody's going to come. They don't visit me when I'm alive. I'm sure they're not going to visit me when I'm dead.
David, Bill and I will come out and visit you.
Yeah.
I'm usually out there.
Yeah, we'll come visit you.
You're going to have to wait a while based on my family history and
Oh,
genetics.
David, we're in no hurry.
Mhm.
We'll be here a long time.
My dad will be 88 next month.
I thought you said he was 89.
Could be 89, 36. What does that mean?
He's
Born
going
in
to be
1936.
going to be 89.
He'll be 89 then. He's 88 already.
Just think of that. We were seeing pictures of the reunion class of 34 there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, dad is 88 and he's got 4 brothers and sisters and they're all still living. 2 of them are older than he is.
Well, Bill's the miracle man. His dad died at 53. Your uncle died about 53, didn't he?
No, they,
They're in their 50s, weren't they?
yeah, well, I think 45, 56, and 60.
And you should have been dead before you got 30.
My aunt lived a long time though,
Yeah.
dad's sister. She was in up to her 80s. But yeah, it's not looking good.
What, the mirror?
The mirror didn't look good at all.
You don't want to look at
Oh
it.
God.
You know,
Other than there is some connection to Harrison Ford.
Wait, are you saying you look like Harrison Ford?
Well, I look like him in the mirror at
Well,
that
I
time.
look like Helen Mirren. It's sagging all over. I'll tell you, getting
It's
old.
gone south, buddy.
Bill and I, one of our favorite movies is The Last Picture Show. And one of our favorite actors
Ben Johnson.
is Ben Johnson. And there's a scene where they're out by the old swimming hole outside of this little Marfa, Texas, little hole in the wall, West Texas town. And Timothy Bottoms is talking to Ben Johnson about his life because he's had a pretty good life. And he ran the pool hall, which is a pretty good business. And he's talking about stuff that's unfair. And Ben Johnson says, the only thing ridiculous is getting old. The only ridiculous is getting old. But I would say, David, you're right. Bill and I have a pretty good attitude.
Well,
I think talking about you and I in that
He
editorial
might have been.
a couple weeks
nothing
ago.
you can do about it.
Pardon?
We'll,
Nothing you can do about it.
hey, any ink you can give us, we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, Bill, he stands out there at the door to IGA. So where
Do
do
they
you
pay-
see people? Where do you see
Nah,
people?
they come
They come
up
to your
and
house?
say- No, they just come up to me wherever I am. A lot of people do and just,
Why do people run from me?
Well, Mike, you haven't been seen outside of your house in 6 years.
Well, trying to stay alive. I don't want to get COVID.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh.
private, very private person. You know that.
We see you once in a while at a restaurant.
Beck and I like to go out and get something to eat.
get a drink in the mornings.
Go by Mickey D's.
Yep.
Get a little Coke or iced tea.
Well, that'll keep you aging.
Diet Coke is good for you.
I'll tell you what will age you. Go shopping in Champaign
On a Saturday.
on a Saturday at Walmart or whatever. If you have to go in for something
Go
that
to
we
Sam's.
didn't have here.
Go to
my
Sam. Go to
God.
Sam's on a Saturday.
Oh, geez. I've
Oh,
never
Walmart.
seen-
Walmart's always entertaining, though.
Yeah. I bought that book one time, The Photos at Walmart. You ever
Yeah.
see that? Unbelievable. One guy was one guy's walking around in a life-size condom. Yeah, they've got some characters at Walmart.
Yeah.
Sam's is more serious. You got to pay 30 or 40 bucks to get a yearly thing.
Yeah, you get a card.
I've never been to Costco. Is Costco just like Sam's or is it better?
I think so, but I've never been to Costco either.
I went once in Peoria with Nathan.
Oh, okay. He had a card.
Oh yeah, they
Is it
go to
different than, is
Costco.
it different than Sam's?
It was a pretty nice store, but it's kind of the same thing, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is you get a good deal, but you got to buy 25 bottles of ketchup. It'll last you about 10 years.
Well, yeah, well, that's the same with Sam's. I can't see buying, a case of mustard.
Well, there's something we'll stock up on, like toilet paper and paper towels.
I guess it doesn't have a shelf life, does it?
Right, they aren't going to go bad.
When COVID hit, I gotta throw this in because I have arguments with some friends over this. Everybody was really mad at Fauci and Francis Collins for, they first said they were lying about masks, the masks don't do any good. And later they said, oh no, you got to get masked. But in defense of those guys, they really didn't know what COVID was doing, what is protective. But the other theory is they could have known that you need masks, but they could know that if they told people that, there would be no mask left for hospital workers.
Right.
Because look what happened to toilet paper and macaroni and cheese.
Oh, there was a run on it, man.
You couldn't get a roll of toilet paper.
Oh,
You go to Sam's, it was empty, and then they limited you. When they did get it in, they limited you one a person. People were lined up,
mhm.
and same way with macaroni and cheese. I never had macaroni and cheese for another year.
Well, you don't want to run out of toilet paper.
No, because the News Gazette,
Corn shucks.
and the Tuscola Chronicle, as nice as I like them, just don't cut the mustard.
No, a little rough.
A little rough around the edges. Your column does okay though.
Does it? It's a little smooth.
Yeah. It goes down smooth.
Yeah. Rambling man.
Rambling Man does a good job.
David, we enjoyed it.
Well, David, I hope you get all your New Year's resolutions come true.
They already have.
Yeah.
Don't look in the mirror.
Dave's a lucky guy. He's content. Now, if you look in the mirror, you would not be upset. You'd be content, right?
Well, every time I look in the mirror, it cracks.
Buy a new mirror.
Well, maybe by next week, Bill will have some more comments from his adoring public, and what are they saying about us?
Well, I think they would like to see us kind of jump on the bandwagon.
Well, we just did on football. What's the next thing? Tariffs?
Don't get me started.
Let's hope it's a safe year. Let's hope for the best this
Yeah,
year.
we'll hope for the best.
Give everybody a chance, see how they do.
Well, 2025, it's got a nice sound to it.
David, and I was in high school in 1964. We read George Orwell's novel 1984, and I could never imagine. I could not imagine being alive in 1984.
1984.
And here it is, 2024,
Yeah.
just passed. 41 years after forever. Unbelievable. Time is creeping by,
It's creeping.
but we're having a good time, and we appreciate you letting us do this. And have you got anybody in mind to replace us when the day comes?
You keep asking me, but I'm not in any hurry for that. So no.
If something happens to me, will you sit here with Bill and fill in?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I'm not very good at it.
better than you think.
Yeah, I think you did.
You always lowball yourself.
It's all right. Don't.
You're pretty good.
Yeah. She does real well in the 60s.
It's more
60.
fun to watch you guys.
64, 65, you're good at.
Yeah.
I asked Jenny if she wanted to come on, and that was a resounding no.
Yeah.
Well, Mitch and Taylor would do it. Bobby Taylor and Mitchner could do this.
Yeah, they'd be good.
It would be good.
They would be good. Metzner would know everyone from the lumberyard.
I'm not letting you guys off the hook that easily.
Oh, okay.
Well,
We'll hang in there.
nothing lasts forever. We'll do the best we can.
Yeah.
Right. We'll see you next week.
See you, David.
Thanks, David.
And thank you.